Ladies and gentlemen, Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions welcomes you to yet another season of India Insight. Envisioned by Mrs. Prema Rajagopal, the founder of this institution, way back in 2004, the objective ever since has been to enhance the knowledge of India and appreciate the diverse culture of this nation. As our young children take part from various corners of the world, over the last couple of years in the digital avatar, this contest has reached over 20,000 students across 10 countries. We at the Vidyaniketan Group of Institutions truly appreciate and acknowledge the support and patronage given to us by all the participating schools, their teachers and managements. Before we begin, it is our pleasure and privilege to invite a leader in school education, a person who's a strong advocate of co-scholastic learning. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dean Academics at Vidyaniketan, Miss Sumitra Raghavan.
Good morning, young participants of the India Insight debate, quiz and drawing competitions. The dream of our founder, Srimati Prema Rajagopal, has not only materialized but is growing stronger in numbers each passing year. Children of today have information available to them at the click of a button. But India Insight is one set of competitions where they develop curiosity about the historical, cultural, and current facts on India. From the host institution, Vidyaniketan Public School, let me wish all you participants all the best as you move from the prelims to the grand finale. A big thank you to all the teachers who stood by their students as they prepared for these competitions, and to their heads of institutions, not only from India, but 9 other countries as well, making India Insight a truly global set of competitions. All the best and thank you.
A big hello and a warm welcome to each one of you to this wonderful program. It's time for us to introduce to you your host for the program today. She is Asia's only professional quiz host, having hosted quizzes in several countries across this region. She has to her credit over 500 shows over the last couple of years, the notable ones being Tata Crucible, TCS Inquisitive, TCS Intelligim, the Union Bank Quiz, the Canara Bank Quiz, just to name a few. She is an alumnus of NITK Surathkal and was selected as 40 under 40 by Business World as people to reckon with from our country. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, time for you to welcome your host, Miss Rashmi Furtado.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 4th semi-final of India Inside Debate Young India Speaks 2023. We have already completed the first 3 semi-finals and identified the 3 who have made it into that world finale that's coming up. Now it's time for us to get to the 4th semi-final. This is, of course, an event, a contest that began initially as a quiz and has today grown into a contest that comprises of a debate, drawing, and a quiz. And it spans across 10 countries from the world. We've had participation from all over these 10 countries. And today, we are getting into the last semi-final. Before we move further, let me give you a crisp introduction about our jury members here today. Our first jury member is Ms. Alia Umair. She has a deep passion for the development sector and she is a part of the government of Karnataka. And our second jury member here today is Mr. Sujit Das. He is the CTO at Orai Robotics and has worked on many interesting projects. Thank you to the both of you for joining us here today. Let me quickly introduce our semi-finalists and then move into this semi-final of Young India Speaks. Our first semi-finalist for the day is Prajwal Bhatt from Vidyaniketan Public School, Bangalore. Following him is Yashwin from Vidyaniketan Public School again from Bangalore. Completing the lineup for us here today is Vedang from NK Bagrodia Public School, Delhi. All right, let's move straight into the first round of this semi-final. Me in 30 seconds. Here we go. As the title suggests, they have to introduce themselves in 30 seconds. And they need to keep in mind that the context is India. 30 seconds is all they have to make an impact. Let's start with Prajwal. Prajwal, you have 30 seconds of time. Please go ahead.
Good evening. I, Prajwal, a citizen of this nation and a proud student of Vidyaniketan Public School, aspire to see India as a modern, strong and independent nation. I covet for a secular and a corrupt-free nation which secures equality, justice, liberty and equity whilst cultivating a youth population armed with a weapon known as knowledge. I want to be an informed citizen who knows all his rights and powers. My hobbies include socializing, making friends, reading people, reading books and sports. But right now I'm living in terrible anxiety and dread of my upcoming board exams. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Prajwal. Reading people, I thought, was a scary hobby that he has. Well, the people around him need to be scared, not us. Let's move on to Yashwin. Yashwin, you're up next. You have 30 seconds of time. Please begin.
Hello everyone, my name is Yashwin and I am a proud citizen of this country and a proud student of Vidyaniketan Public School. I'm studying in grade 11. I am a true space enthusiast. I've always been fascinated by rockets and the limitless possibilities they hold. While I am soaring high in the sky with my thoughts, I also enjoy keeping my feet on the ground by staying informed about global happenings to foreign affairs. When I am not exploring the cosmos or the world around me, I love to escape reality through movies and TV shows. I love to see an India developed by 2047. When I am a proud citizen, when I have the ability to give my vote, I will be really happy to give my vote in elections for a developed country. As my other participants, even I am in distress anxiety as I have my final exam scheduled to begin in another 2 days. Thank you.
All right. Vedang, you're up next. You have 30 seconds of time. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Vedang Saraswat, studying in class 9th and a student of NK Bagrodia Public School, Dwarka. And talking about my hobbies, I'm moreover into cricket and like more over the sports side and little bit in music too. And I love to get grabbing the knowledge about India, about the world, more a little bit of space side too. And yeah, that's who I am.
All right, that's Vedang for you. We know all three of them. So let's move into the next round, ladies and gentlemen. Point of view. Here we go. In this round, each of our contestants will speak for a minute on the topic coming up on your screen now. Top 2 priorities for India at 2047 and why? We all are aware that at 2047, India would be 100. So we want to know what our future of our nation wants the future of India to be. All right, let's go the other way around in the order. Vedang, you have a minute's time. Contestants, please ensure you stick to the time limit that has been given to you. Vedang, your minute's time on the topic. Go ahead.
Okay, so the path-breaking budget of Amrit Kal, in my opinion, the priorities of India should be moreover to infrastructure and the youth of our country. So, as we all know that the infrastructure that the India is facing a problem of fiscal deficit, which means the expenditures of our country is more than the income of our country. And to overcome that problem, infrastructure helps a lot because it provides us with the job opportunities and the better connections and economic growth as well. So the if you see through the budget of our country, then there is a 10 trillion rupees to raise to 7.5 as compared to last year, but there is 13 trillion rupees effective apex, which leads to 4.5% of our this budget. And talking about the youth of our country, it is more than 50% of our population is below 25 year. And it is of course, the youth is very energetic, and moreover, energy to make money and to make us proud, make our country proud. And if we moreover see what the things which is put on by the our country towards youth is like there are new 36 skill international centers to be set up in the multiple states, and 15 new destinations for tourists. Government is providing stipend support to 47 lakh youth of our country.
Thank you, Vedang. Let's move on to Yashwin. Yashwin, go ahead. You have a minute's time.
Thank you, ma'am. India has a large population and many diverse challenges. So there is likely no single answer to what the two top priorities should be. However, here are a few possibilities that one might consider as the top priorities for India in 2047. Economic growth and job creation. India became the most populous country recently by overtaking China. And many believe that this enormous population is a burden to the government. But I strongly believe that this youth population is key towards India's economic growth. Job creation and economic growth are directly proportional to each other, and hence it is important for the country to create enough jobs for its citizens. This can be done by a variety of ways, some of which are promoting small and medium enterprises, fostering entrepreneurship, promoting labor-intensive industries. Healthcare and education will be my second priority, and healthcare and education are directly linked to economic growth of the country. For this vast manpower to be successful and efficient in its needs, it needs to be healthy and educated. Providing quality healthcare and education to all the citizens will be critical for the country's long-term development and will also help to address issues such as poverty and inequality. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Yashwin. Let's move on to Prajwal. Prajwal, you have a minute's time on the topic. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I believe that the two priorities may be categorized as an external factor and an internal factor. The external factor can include foreign policies, which are often underrated. Foreign policies and soft power is kind of that gives you that cultural influence on other nation. For example, America. America's lifestyle has influenced a lot of countries in these years, growing its power. India is the only country, not the only country, it has a significant stand and can bring Russia and Ukraine together in economic forums. The internal factor may include equitable social and economic growth, but also I believe it should have self-reliance in defense and a cyber-strong country. Recently, on 23rd November 2022, a cyber attack occurred in AIIMS, Delhi. We all know that health is the most important aspect in terms of information technology. They took in information. This included the PM's information too. So India should increase its skill and research in order to thwart such attacks. If our data is safe, India can be safe.
All right. Thank you, Prajwal. Ladies and gentlemen, time for us to move into the next round of the semi-final War of Words. Here we go. All right, contestants, you have to stick to the time. All of you are going over the 1 minute that is given to you. All right. In the next round, which is War of Words, each of you have a minute's time to speak on the topic, and then you have 6 minutes of time to discuss on the topic. Okay. Now, you cannot eat into each other's time. Please understand that. If you reach the 60th second, I will stop you. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the fourth semi-final of India Inside Debate Young India Speaks 2023. These are all students from classes 9 to 12. Let us quickly go into the war of words and see the topic they are going to speak on today. Social media is a threat to our democracy. Each of the contestants will speak for a minute on this topic, and then the floor would be open for 6 minutes for all of them to debate and discuss. Contestants, I will not interfere once you start discussing, but of course, at the end of the 5th minute, I will let you know and I will stop you at the end of the 6th minute. For now, let's begin with the topic here today. Prajwal, please go ahead. You have a minute's time on the topic. Social media is a threat to our democracy. Go ahead.
Democracy is a form of government where people choose their representatives and they go on to form governments. Elections, campaigning, all of this is part of the democratic process. Nowadays, parties use social media in order to campaign. This is a healthy part of democracy, so social media is playing a major role here. Losing parties go on to form opposition. It is the opposition's responsibility and duty to criticize and condemn the ruling party on its weaknesses and on its faults. This occurs primarily more in social media, hence promoting a healthy and a competitive spirit. Sushma Swaraj, our former External Affairs Minister, often was tagged in Twitter and many other social media platforms on the affairs and the issues of people living in other countries. Madam Sushma Swaraj attended to these queries quickly. There are many underlying initiatives and policies which have to be brought into the light, but through social media, it has been just boom. Many initiatives are brought into light just because of social media. So I believe that social media is definitely not a threat to our democracy, rather a boon. Informed people cannot be misinformed.
Your minute's time is done. Your minute's time is done.
Thank you.
Vedang, please go ahead. You have a minute's time on the topic.
Social media, yeah. So eventually social media was a boom for us. Like, it was one of the best creation made by the human beings, as you can connect with the people you would like to, like, from miles away. But eventually it is moreover now a ban for us, as it causes a little bit of biasness towards everything, and it also promotes a little bit of vulgarity in somehow. Even as said by the Prajwal, that the parties use them as campaigning, and somehow they form something which is moreover biasness and create a opinion in the voter's mind. Also, it could lead to formation of a vulgarity inside the person, as it shows up things which should not be openly shown. And of course, it is a place for knowledge, but giving us that knowledge in the form of social media for free maybe make it as biasness.
All right. Thank you, Vedang. Yashwin, go ahead. You have a minute's time on the topic.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm standing to the topic. Yes, I believe that social media is a threat to democracy. The impact of social media on democracy is a complex and a controversial issue. On one hand, social media can empower individuals by giving them a platform to express their opinion and share information, helping to hold those in power accountable and promoting freedom of speech and transparency. On the other hand, social media can also be used to spread misinformation and false information, which can have significant impact on public opinion and decision making. The second reason why social media can be a threat is undermining trust in democratic institutions. Social media can be used to spread conspiracy theories and discredit democratic institutions, which can undermine trust in these institutions and erode public confidence in the democratic processes. Election interference. Social media can be used to manipulate public opinion and influence election outcomes, either through spread of false information or by targeted advertising. There is no doubt social media has the potential to be a powerful tool for promoting democracy, but it is also clear that it can pose a significant risk to democratic processes and institutions if not managed properly. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Yashwin. All right, contestants, you have 6 minutes of time on the topic. The floor is open. Remember, I will inform you at the end of the 5th minute that you have a minute's time left, and then let you know when you have run out of time. The floor is open. Go ahead.
Well, fellow debaters, first off, I'd like to start. Does anyone of you know anything about the beating retreat?
Yes.
Vedang, okay. Beating retreat is a form, okay, it's a program which occurs at the end of Republic Day. Yashwin, you're an exception, but many people actually do not know what a beating retreat is. This has these important processes and culture has only been spread through social media.
Very well, point very well noted, fellow debater. But yes, there are many information that are spread by social media and made viral. Do you know about the Republic Day of 2021 and the riot caused in New Delhi on Red Fort? Those were also made viral, and we know how disturbing those visuals were. Like there was an organization's flag that was hoisted above our national flag, which is completely against law. And this is a clear example of where people lose the trust on democratic institutions like law enforcement. People lost trust on Delhi police and law enforcement and military forces. If an organization's flag can be hoisted above the national flag, it can be considered as equal to a national security problem. So this visuals were made viral with the help of Twitter and other social media platforms. And I think it does not make. There is places where it has played its own advantage, but till now it's not.
Well, since you brought this issue, okay, Vedang,
yeah, I agree with both of your points. But if we see, like, of course, social media is a hub for knowledge. But if we move on and see more into depth of this topic, like as you said that it was spreading down knowledge about the Republic Day. But of course, there are a lot of things which vulgarity is shown on social media, which should not be shown. As of course, after lockdown, many kids also have the phone, and of course the screen time of a average Indian person is 7 hours. And if somebody is spending that much time on social media and he is gaining the knowledge of vulgarity, that's a serious problem to notice. Also, if we see, like, there is already some cases being filed on the social media that they spread vulgarity and biasness.
Well, since you brought up the topic of the Red Fort storming, let's go back to the root of the issue. This was caused because Prime Minister Modi introduced a set of farm laws which were supposed to benefit the nation. But these farm laws and initiatives were misinterpreted for a purpose. When people are informed, they cannot be misinformed. I'm sure you guys would have heard about Twitter. There, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has a separate dedicated account which is maintained by a lot of personnel spreading short videos and is showing his day-to-day routines. There, all the information about the farm laws was posted there. Some people on purpose took this and misinterpreted it. If people can have transparency of this sort and they can get access to information directly, and they're influenced by these misinterpretations, social media is not the fault there. It is just a platform and it's up to the people's expectations, isn't it?
But fellow debater, if social media didn't exist, the misinterpretation could not have been changed or spread so quickly. It would have taken months of time before it needed to get into print media or via television media, and it took time. But now, because of social media, this misinterpretation got to people's mind very quickly and caused chaos. Talking about misinterpretation, even during the Citizenship Amendment Act was introduced in 2019, many people misunderstood what this act was. They thought it was an anti-Muslim act, but in reality, it was not. And the major reason there was a lot of chaos that act also caused, and it was fueled and it was organized. Many of these riots were fueled and organized with the help of social media. So I strongly believe this is a threat to our democracy, and it has its own advantages, but again, it is a real threat to our democracy.
Well, it's a fact that social media has a major influence and is a part of democracy, but many underlying issues and threats have been brought to light just because of social media. I'm sure you guys would have heard about PSI, where people can actually buy rank in paying lakhs. Just how unfair is that? Even the KVPY exam scandal. All of these issues have been brought to light only by the sting operations conducted by the public.
I agree on this. I strongly agree on this issue. But the only thing is that
You have a minute's time left.
Sorry, ma'am.
You have a minute's time left.
But many of the times, yes, there is. We have seen such situations, but some of the times there is also situations where these informations are morphed. That is, they are fake. Like especially grievances that are put up in Twitter and Instagram to politicians and MLAs are most.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Yashwin. Sorry to interrupt you there. You talked about that grievances, right?
Yes.
I'll just let you know that the ceremonial representative of a country, the president, has a dedicated YouTube channel where all these stuff is there. The president's day-to-day life is showcased. So there's no controversy regarding the president there, is it?
But I'm not talking about the president or the people in power, but I'm talking about public who most of the times only for the reason for getting famous on social media spread these non-existent news about government, about the grievances. They tell there is a problem in the constituency, but in reality there isn't. These is also used, but most of the times it is used for to share such morphed and misinterpreted information. And I guess that is also a threat, and it is also a time waste for the people who are sitting there behind computers looking at these grievances. At the end, to find out that there are no such grievances existing.
Well, if there is social media, all officers will be alert and staying on their feet, making sure that all eyes are on them. There is.
Contestants, you have run out of time. You have run out of time. You have crossed the 6-minute duration that I had given you earlier. All right, ladies and gentlemen, all of you heard them. I don't know what all of you think, but I'm pretty sure I know what our jury members think. They have a tough task to select one winner who makes it into the finale of this contest, that is Young India Speaks. Let's move into the last round on that note. The jury time. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly introduce our jury members to you. Our first jury member is Ms. Alia Omer. She works for the development sector and she's been working with the Karnataka State Livelihood Mission with the government of Karnataka. She looks into the financial inclusion and livelihood opportunities for women in the state. Before this, she was working with Teach for India, Freshworks, and Practo Technologies, to name a few. An MBA from the prestigious VIT Vellore. She did her schooling from Muscat, and Muscat is a city that does very well in India inside actually. So she did her schooling from Muscat. When she's not working, she's exploring the world as a passionate biker on her Royal Enfield, or blogging or addressing her audiences as a speaker. Alia, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is mine.
Our second jury member, Mr. Sujit Das. Sujit has over 16 years of experience in building and consulting large organizations and enterprises for their core and complex processes and application. He is the CTO at Orai Robotics. He's also an evangelist in the field of AI, NLP, RPA, and product management. He has worked and provided his assistance in some renowned projects like the implantation of Aadhaar, Vodafone Global Business Process Automation, and so on. He has helped many to design and build process automation in their businesses, helped organizations to build business strategies for intelligent project and portfolio selection, created strategic portfolio frameworks, and trained various CIOs, CTOs, RMOs, and PMOs. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Sujit.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you for allowing me to come here. And it's really interesting to share the dice with young and talented minds.
All right. So we have 3 contestants here with us today. So both of you can question all the 3 of them because it's just 3. So you can please go ahead and question all of them. Alia, would you like to begin?
Yeah. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It was brilliant just listening to your views and your thoughts. So my first question is to Yashwin. So, Yashwin, in a lot of scenarios, the social media is always considered as an equalizing platform where everyone has a space to keep their opinion and probably share their thoughts and opinions, right? So, in your argument, I wanted to understand, how do we make sure that marginalized people or under-resourced people have a platform to share their opinion and that does not get further ambushed, right? Because if we don't have a social media, a lot of times we don't have a platform for the under-resourced to put their opinions out, or people who don't have access. So how do you think you can solve that issue if we don't have social media?
Ma'am, thank you for the question, firstly, ma'am. And I think that it has helped. Mostly, we have seen examples of it, but there are situations where these informations are sometimes not true. So I would like maybe the government should come up with a governing body so which regulates these grievances. First, know whether it is true or not, and then get into the depth of it, and then even social media platforms should come up with privacy policies and terms and conditions where they have strict conditions on what content should be published and what should not be published. And also there is a need to reduce fake news. And there is another thing where I actually, because of the time constraint, I could not make the point. But there are situations where even the smallest of the things are made very huge on social media. They just amplify it. It is used as an amplifier. And I think this should be brought down. Maybe with the help of this governing body that government, if a government forms it, it can be really helpful, is what I think.
All right. Thank you, Alia. Sujit, would you like to question Yashwin itself? We can move from one contestant to the other in that manner.
Yeah, sure. I just have a quick question to Yashwin. Yashwin said that social media is a threat, correct, Yashwin?
Yeah.
And you also emphasize that some of the talents which is being exposed to the international community is used through social media.
Yes, sir.
And you also believe that, and you just told that there should be some sort of a rule should apply when it comes to sharing type of content. So the content sharing. Now my question is, if you think so, and rightly asked by Alia as well, the talents which is not getting exposures, in real scenarios, they are today getting exposed by these social media platforms. And larger set of education bodies and institutions who are sitting abroad are actually hiring kids or, admiring these talents through this social media. So how you want to counter this question?
Sir, in my talk, I mostly concentrated on how this is a threat to democracy in particular, and not to the normal people or the normal public. But yes, there are situations where people are getting hired with the help of social media. But in the aspect of democracy at the current time, right now, I think for democracy it is a threat.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Yashwin. Alia, whom would you like to speak with next?
Yeah, I have a question for Prajwal. So I know, Prajwal, you are advocating for social media 100%. And I wanted to understand, like, we all agree that we need to find a middle ground on social media between information and misinformation. We need to find that middle ground that is needed. So I wanted to understand, what is your point of view on who do we give the power to? Do we give it to the social media user? Do we give it to the social media conglomerates or the state? Who decides what goes out?
Okay, thank you for your question, first of all. Social media is just a platform where everyone can put their views, but it's on a global level. I believe that everyone should be given equal access and equal power there, because state official's view may be distorted and twisted in his favor, whereas the citizen's view may be true and genuine. The reason why public and media houses are growing in more and more popular is due to the reason that they present their good opinion nowadays. There are many sting operations conducted which brought out the necessary evil, which brought out the social evil and the evils at the grassroots levels. and just remove them off. Whole some part of the state may fall back in these terms, but it is for the greater good of the public, isn't it? So I believe that, in conclusion, I believe that everyone should be given equal power, and everyone must have a say. And the governing body, as Yashwin pointed, must base their policies for equal and equitable say for each and every person.
All right. Sujit, would you want to continue with Prajwal as well?
Yeah, I just want to extend the same question. Prajwal, you said, I just want a quick answer, from you, because you are favoring social media, and we all know it's a sword. If you use it, correctly, it can do wonders. If you want to spread news which is not required, you can even do that. Now, my question, straightforward to you: do you think it's our social responsibility to put the correct sort of information, or do you think there should be a government policy across it?
Sir, in my answer, okay, I'll try to keep it short. It is a social responsibility to put information which we have verified is true. You just can't look up news somewhere else, read this, and put it on social media. That's not the point. The government policies, what I told in my answer, is something that should empower and support every social media user.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Sujit. Thank you, Prajwal. Alia, we have Vedang who's remaining. Please go ahead.
Great. So, Vedant, I wanted to understand your point of view on what, if not social media, what are some of the other potential avenues for engagement for public with different people? People might have different views, they're coming from different places. So how do we get people together if not for social media?
Ma'am, see, like if you see like the advantages of social media, they are a lot. But if you're saying that there should be no social media for the government, ma'am, that would make us like go behind in technology and all. In my opinion, that should be governed by somebody, like how the RBI is financially governing it, and the Aadhaar card or any sort of identity should be linked with it, so that there would be a back of mind of the user. Like I can't go beyond this. Like there should be some something to go, and there should be some fines or laws for it. Like nowadays it's just free and there are no laws for it, and like it is just openly free for everybody to use it, which is good, but there should be some restriction for everybody to do so.
All right. Sujit, please go ahead.
Yeah. Vedant, my quick question is, we all are in social media today. Correct? We do all agree.
Sure.
You can't live without a presence in social media.
Sure.
Right? And you cannot live without content publishing in social media. That's also true, because if you are in social media, there will be every day new content coming up. Now, my question to you is, how will you know which content is right and which content is wrong?
So, answering that question is like we can set up some AI learning based technologies. Like, of course, machine learning is all used in it. A small example we can take that this if we see to the Gmails, they usually moreover classify them the emails into spam or data promotion. So same as the thing we can do in the videos or any content which is gonna upload on the social media, like using the help of AI and machine learning, we can do so and classify the same. Where even till date, if the content is moreover harmful or something which is vulgarity is present in it, it gives a reminder, or you can say it gives a caution before you see on Instagram. So same, by just not giving any caution, we can remove that same content. We can do so by using the help of AI.
Thank you, Vedant.
All right. Thank you, Sujit. Thank you, Vedang. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the fourth semi-final of India Inside Debate Young India Speaks 2023. We have completed all 4 semi-finals, and it's time for us to identify the winner of this semi-final, who will move into the grand finale of Young India Speaks. And the winner of the 4th semi-final of India Inside Debate Young India Speaks is Yashwin from Vidyaniketan Public School, Bangalore. Congratulations to you, Yashwin. I would really like to thank our jury members for taking time out and being a part of this semi-final. Thank you so much. If you haven't watched the rest of the semi-finals, please go ahead and watch them. There are a lot of interesting and intriguing perspectives that have been discussed, and I'm very, very sure that the grand finale is going to be a nail-biting one. I really hope I will meet all of you at the grand finale. You take care.